Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. It's obviously Sunday, so our topic is a very interesting weekend across the country. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. A couple other things I want to bring up as well. So hopefully we have a good talk tonight. Definitely want your guys' input as well. Again, if we have any interruptions or disruptions with the live stream, you may not get notification of it, but I will get right back on as soon as I can. So you may have to come back to my channel, look for it. You'll see the live stream. Again, a lot of times people are not getting notifications when I'm back up. Okay, so just letting you guys know ahead of time. All right. Last stream we had 4 takes. So the 5 streams before that, they all went fine. So who knows? But anyway, the haters that are doing it, if they're bombarding my IP address, thank you. You're actually helping me because the more streams, the more people watch. It works out either way. I would rather have the stream just go smoothly, but realistically, I mean, in being realistic, at more streams, the more people watch them, it's better for the channel anyway. But I would rather not have it be that way. So anyway, if we do have an interruption, we will get back on as soon as possible. All right. So I want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. So please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. It's not going to be tolerated. My awesome moderators that you see lit up in blue will boot you out of here if you decide you want to play that game. All right. So it's just not necessary, and we want to have a decent chat, not nastiness and stupidity. So that's kind of where I stand with that. So if you have any questions, okay, all cap locks, please. So it stands out for me when I'm looking at for comments. I just want to let you know. Oh, so anyway, I miss seeing Mom. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you what, Nikki Johnson. Actually, today is Mom's birthday. Mom is 77 years old today. So she, I spoke with her earlier today, and she's doing good. So, today is my mother's 77th birthday. Now, my half sister, Margie, her mother's birthday was yesterday, and her mother is 94. So, it's pretty funny. So, but yeah, see, she goes, I always remember your mom's birthday, she says, because it's the day after my mom's. And I'm like, well, that's very cool. Hey, Troy, thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. Thank you. So, okay, let's get into this weekend. Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple things first, all right? Obviously, not a fan of the news media because of all the misinformation and lies they perpetuate on a daily basis. But they just, with this whole protest all over the country, and I love it. I love this terminology. So Portland or Seattle, they'll say, this is what they'll say in the media: mostly peaceful protesters. What in the heck is that? Mostly peaceful. When you have people setting buildings on fire, attacking police precincts and vandalizing police precincts, when you have people going after courthouses, like that happened in Oakland, California. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about the different places and what was going on where. When you have these things going on, so if you want to protest, and if you are peaceful, have at it, have a good time, knock yourselves out, okay? Again, not a big fan of protesters, even if it's something I believe in, because it can turn ugly very, very fast. And I will tell you this, I've made Heather promise me that she will not do any protest, even if it's something that she believes in. I'm going to give you a great example of one of the reasons why you should not protest, okay? I'm going to give you that in just 1 second. Deep South Bama with Mr. Tom. Hey, Ed, you're doing it right up there in my home state. Take care and stay safe, brother. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. I have something in my eye at the moment. So I want to talk about people taking protests too far, okay? People jamming themselves up in their future. And I'm going to give you the greatest example in the world in a moment. And anybody that was Vietnam era and watched that, they know exactly who I'm going to talk about in a moment, okay? But protesting and doing stupid stuff can follow you down through your path in life. You can never get away from it if you do something, if you make the wrong decision. Okay? So we're actually going to talk about Hanoi Jane. Now, I know the older folks know exactly who I am talking about. Some of you other younger folks may not know, okay? But there's people out there that will never let her forget what she did, all right? Her name is Jane Fonda. That is Hanoi Jane. So a lot of people know Jane Fonda, and, you know, she was a very beautiful woman and has done movies through the 60s, the 70s, and beyond, and she's on some TV show even now, okay? Well, Jane Fonda was against the Vietnam War, which is her right to be against the Vietnam War. Jane Fonda went up into North Vietnam. They have propaganda pictures of her on a anti-battery gun wearing one of their helmets, okay? Jane Fonda met prisoners. Now, this is documented truth. I'm not making this up, so, all right? So as she was being introduced to these prisoners, each one of those prisoners had slipped her a piece of paper with their name and their social security number on it, because they wanted that information to get back out to the world that they were alive and that they were, that they were there. Well, what Jane Fonda did after she walked down the line and each man had given her a piece of paper with their name and stuff on it, she turned and gave that information to the gentleman, whoever was in charge of that procession. She gave him all that information. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this I could be mistaken on, 2 men ended up dying because they were beaten to death, and other ones were they survived, and that's how that story got out. But she's a traitor. I have zero respect for Jane Fonda. I think she should be shot, in my own opinion. When you do those type of things to your fellow countrymen, you don't have to believe in what they're doing, okay? You don't have to believe in what the government is doing, but you should always support the men and women at arms, because they're the ones that are putting their lives out there for the rich people in the background. So I don't know if you guys knew that story. I kind of wanted to share that with you. So a lot of the people that think that it's all great and we're going to go protest and we're going to do this, or maybe we decide to do something stupid, it has a tendency to follow you for the rest of your life. So that is one of the reasons why I've told my daughter, please don't get involved with protesting. And I made her promise me that she would not do it, and she did promise me. And I'm going to tell you what, that young lady is a lady of her word, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for my daughter, and she's very, very smart. So when we talk about different things, and again, our political views are completely different, like night and day, okay? But when I explain things to her in a logical manner, and when she processes them, she realized that I'm not coming at things from a left or a right viewpoint. I'm coming at from a viewpoint of somebody that's been around on this planet for a long time, and I see how things go and how things can follow you. So that's kind of what I want. And I would encourage you all, if you have children that are protesting and want to get involved in that stuff, share that story about Jane Fonda. That never left her side. I'm going to tell you another story about Jane Fonda. She was in, I believe it was Colorado, and she was married to Ted Turner at the time. And so they had gone to some fancy restaurant that was in Colorado. And, they want, are you? And she said, I'm Jane Fonda, and this is Ted Turner. She goes, hold on a second, I will go and get the owner. So she went and got the owner, and the owner came out there, and he's basically, in a very not so nice way, but I will say it in a nice way, he said, get out of my restaurant. You are banned from here. You are not welcome here. I am a Vietnam veteran. And so that's how that type of stuff, again, will follow you for the rest of your life. So, you may try to put that behind you like it's no big deal, but people don't forget. When you do wrong, it tends to follow you. And if you get into the system, and everything is documented today now, guys. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. They're watching everything, especially if you're in the cities and you're involved in stupidity, it's going to follow you. So I would just encourage you to talk to your kids, share those stories, talk about what happened with Jane Fonda, because she's a great example of that. I don't watch Jane Fonda movies. If Jane Fonda was in the most popular movie out there today and is like, oh my God, this is the greatest movie ever, I would not watch it because Jane Fonda's in that movie. That's me. That's my personal choice as a veteran, okay? So, service business tips for you. How do you feel about the NFAC speech? Sounds like he wants civil war. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are pushing for that type of stuff. It's craziness, to be honest with you. Thank you so much for the donation, and thank you for the question. Um, you're going to get groups of people that want civil war. I don't think that that's going to be doing any good for anybody. We talked about, because somebody had asked what would happen if a foreign force invaded our country. One of the reasons that a foreign force has never invaded the United States, ask Japan in the Second World War. Ask those type of people, because so many Americans are armed and we know how to use our weapons. We have the largest standing army in the world just with hunters alone. That's not even talking about recreational shooters. Guys, I see we're at 1.1 in the chat. We're at 302 on the thumbs up. I would ask you to please show your support for the channel by hitting that thumbs up button. Thank you for doing that ahead of time. Also, it really does help with the algorithms. So if you haven't done that yet, please do that to help with that as well. And also, if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure you do subscribe and hit that bell notification so you get all notifications as well. Okay. So thank you for that ahead of time. I appreciate that. But so anyway, so we have a lot of things happening around the country right now. Okay. And again, as parents, we need to teach our young people not to participate in stupidity that can get them jammed up for the rest of their lives. 17, 18, 19 years old, they could be making a mistake that's going to affect them forever. And I think that's probably like my one message, biggest message that I want to give out today is that. Talk to your children, explain to them. Because if they look at it and look up the history, all I can see, and that's the best part, Jane Fonda, that whole situation is all very well documented. All I got to do is look it up. Look up Hanoi Jane, because that was her nickname. Okay, garbage. Now I'm going to talk about something else real quick, and then we're going to get into the stuff that's going on around the country this weekend. We're going to talk about athletes for a second. We're going to talk about athletes taking a knee for whatever the case may be. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to tell you what, diehard Yankee fan since I was about 8 years old. Love my Yankees, New York Yankees. Okay, so. And baseball is my favorite sport. All right. The very first game of the season, and I don't know if anybody else saw this or not, you had everybody from the Nationals, everybody from the Yankees took a knee, okay, before the game started. Again, I have a huge issue with that. When you have, realistically, and I want you to think about this, and then today it was, and so in today's game, the national anthem was being played, and I'm going to talk about, hold on a second. Hey, Harvey Black II. Last night, protesters in Portland, Oregon, I saw live on Facebook, BLM Antifa surrounded and stopped a car beating on it. Hold on a second. One protester allegedly pointed an AK-47 at the driver. The driver shot and killed him. Protesters are not peaceful. Yeah, you know what? I think that was in Texas, actually. Because I was going to bring that up as well. Thank you very much for the donation. And it wasn't in Seattle. That was, let me just see, hold on a second. Austin, Texas is where that happened. And that person was taken into police custody and is cooperating with the police. But they were saying, yes, that person came up to that car with a rifle, and the person in the car shot them and killed them. And so, yes, that was in Austin, Texas that happened. That wasn't in Seattle. But thank you so much. I was going to bring that up too. So anyway, I want to talk about athletes for a second. When you have individuals that their whole life has been about athletics, okay, and good for them. If you're gifted that way and you can go make a ton of money in the NFL, the NBA, in baseball, or whatever sport it may be, that's great. But your job as an athlete is to entertain us. That's your job. That's it. We don't need political statements. We don't need you getting on any bandwagons. You got to understand something too. And as a veteran myself, this really bothers me and it gets under my skin, because professional athletes, unless they've already been in the military first and then came back, and one of them would be Roger Staubach, who was a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys back in the 70s. Okay, he was a Navy in the Navy. He won the the Heisman Trophy that year. I believe his senior year, and then he had to go do his commitment to the Navy. So he was in the military first. Okay, if If you've been in the military first, you have every right to do whatever you want as far as I am concerned. You can, if you want to protest whatever's and stuff like that, I don't care. That, you know what, you've earned that right because you've sacrificed. Most of the athletes out there that have not ever been in the service, okay, that have never made any kind of sacrifice for this country, Ted Williams, a lot of the baseball players back in the 40s, a lot of them did too. Yeah, a lot of them went into the service. But, you know, those people, and there was a lot of Hollywood actors back in the 40s. The one, I'm trying to think of what his name is. Oh my God, it's a famous movie that they play every year at Christmas time. Oh, what was his name? But he was in the Air Force, and oh God, what was his name? Real tall, skinny actor. I can't even think of the name of the movie right now off the top of my head. Jimmy Stewart. That's who it was. Yeah, I believe it was Jimmy Stewart. He was an airline, and they wanted him to basically do, PR stuff, and he wouldn't have any of it. He actually flew missions, bombing missions, and had nightmares for years. And what was the name of the movie, guys? I'm trying to think of the name of the movie. A Wonderful Life. Thank you very much. Yes. If you guys watch that movie, they were talking about when he made that movie, he was dealing with his own PTSD from what he dealt with in the war and stuff like that. It's absolutely an amazing movie, phenomenal movie. It's very old. It's obviously in black and white, but it's absolutely fantastic movie. But the thing is, these are people that have sacrificed. These are people that, have gone out there, fought for their country. They have a right to do. And again, in my opinion, if you've worn the uniform, whatever branch, Coast Guard, Navy, Marines, Army, Air Force, whatever the case may be, if you've worn that uniform and you want to protest, you have every right in the world to protest. You can do whatever you want, in my opinion, okay? But when you have spoiled millionaire athletes that have sacrificed nothing for this country, and their big thing is that they're going to get on there and do their protesting, I'm sorry. You know what? That's not why I'm watching baseball. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care anything about any of that. I don't care who you like or who you don't like as far as politics go. It makes zero difference to me. That's not why I watch sports. I watch sports to be entertained. That's it. Okay? So, when they do stuff like that, it's a real turnoff. It's a real turnoff. And I have zero respect for them when they do that. It's just putting that out there. I just wanted to share that with you because I think, again, what have they sacrificed? Realistically, nothing. And so when you get the whole team, and I want you to think about this a second. And there was the one pitcher, and I'm trying to think what team it was. They were all taking a knee, and the one pitcher for that team, I think it might have been the San Francisco Giants. I believe it may have been. He would not take a knee. And he said, the only person that I will take a knee for is God. And I'm going to tell you what, I respect that so much because everybody else, you got to understand the crowd, if they say you need to do this, the crowd for the most part is going to go, yeah, okay, I might not like it. Yeah, Sam Conrad. Yes, Sam Conrad. Thank you very much, Simple Life Prepper. The crowd is going to try to influence people, and people may go, well, I really don't want to do it, but I don't want to rock the boat, so I'll put the T-shirt on and I'll kneel because, big deal. Well, to me, it is a big deal. Stand up for what you believe in. Act like you got a pair, And, yeah, San Francisco Giants. Yep. Okay, thank you very much. Darnell just said, yep, he's a relief pitcher, Conrad. Yep. And like I said, I saw that, and I said, good for him. Good for him for standing up for what he believes in. Because we need to be doing that, okay? I'm so sick of people just going, oh, whatever they say, it's, I'm going to go along with it. I just not me, not my thing. I'm sorry. Just not going to do it. But anyway, so let's get into this here a little bit, guys. And actually, I'm going to do this one more time right now. We're at 1.2 in the chat, guys. and we're at 522 on the thumbs up. Let's shoot that up there a little bit, please. To show support for the channel, I would ask you to shoot a thumbs up if you have not done so already. Again, it really does help with the algorithms. So I'm really, I like that as well, obviously, because it helps the channel continue to grow. And also, I like to see a lot of thumbs up, I'm not going to lie. So I appreciate that, and thank you. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure you do subscribe. And make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So we're going to start out in Portland, Oregon again, okay? Because for the 59th straight day, they have continued to loot, riot, burn, and do everything else that they're doing. Hey, Maria Beers, please add anyone have a solution for the terrible cough, my radiation therapy to the lungs, I can't take much more. If anybody can help Maria out with that, please make a comment that can help her out with her cough, because she's obviously getting radiation treatment because of her lungs. So if somebody has a solution that could help her with that, please put it in the comments for her. And thank you for doing that, guys. And thank you so much, Maria, for the donation. I'm sorry that you're having to go through that. I'm sure it's not pleasant at all. I know my aunt right now is also going through radiation therapy as well, and it's knocking her for a loop. Not good at all. And her chances of survival, my aunt's chances of survival are not good at all, and that's my mom's sister. So, and we've already lost my uncle. There was the three of them. It was my mom, my uncle, and my aunt. My uncle's already died from cancer. My aunt has cancer right now and is dying. My family, we die of two things. We die of cancer, and we die of old age. That's what we die of. So, not pleasant at all. So I empathize with you. I can't say I know what you're going through because I've never physically experienced having to get radiation, thank goodness. And I don't ever want to, but I know that it's not pleasant at all. So anyway, so let's get back to this. So for the 59th straight day, they have been rioting, burning buildings, setting things on fire. So the protesters were told to disperse. They chose not to disperse. 60 people were arrested in Portland last night. Of the 60 people that were arrested, they're going to go after or pursue charges against 46 of them. Okay, and I say bravo to that. You want to act foolish and you want to act stupid. There's a big difference between a peaceful protest and rioting. And again, everything is being recorded. Look on Facebook, any of the other things out there, guys. You're going to see it all over the place. Everything is being recorded. They record everything. So it's it's just ridiculous, and they're going to catch you. If you do stupid stuff, they're going to catch you. Okay. In LA, protesters were at the federal building and throwing water bottles and letting off fireworks and bricks and stuff like that at the police there at the federal building in Los Angeles. In Oakland, California, they set several buildings on fire, and they vandalized the police station. So then we're going to go to Seattle. All right, at least 45 people in Seattle were arrested. Again, these people think, and this is what amazes me. I missed Mountain Girl. I'm sorry, Mountain Girl. Hold on, I got to see what you said, hon. I was reading and I didn't see it. Hit that thumbs up button to subscribe. Be well, stay safe, and keep on prepping. Thank you very much, Mountain Girl. Thank you for the statement. And thank you so much for the donation as well. Good to see you here. I hope things are going well with your move. I know you've been extremely busy, and I hope you're getting things wrapped up and getting ready to move to your mountain retreat, which is going to be very safe for you. And I'm very happy. And I'm going to be calling you soon. Heather and I are thinking of taking a road trip, so we're going to talk to you soon. Okay, just so you know, Mountain Girl. So look for that call. Full of hope, lung clearance treatment, USNEA is natural. Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Full of Hope. That's going to be for Maria Beers. She's saying that for Maria Beers. So thank you for that donation as well. I do appreciate that. Mountain Girl said, very busy, but the end result will be awesome. Sounds good, PN1. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, I'll be in contact with you soon. Let's see. So again, now the thing we talked about earlier in Austin, Texas, or a group of protesters went up to a car, like do and start beating on the car and the windows and stuff like that. They said a man came up to the car, believed that he was armed with a long rifle, and somebody had said it was an AK-47. The person in the car shot and killed him. Okay? That person is cooperating with police. They were taken into custody and they were cooperating with police. All right? And this is what kills me. So the officials in Austin, Texas were like, it is very distressing when somebody is killed during a peaceful protest. I'm sorry, if you're coming at my car with a gun with bad intentions and you already got the crowd egged on and they're beating on the car and they're, you're in fear for your life. You have every right to protect yourself. And I'm pretty sure that person will not be charged with anything because they have the right to protect themselves. And good for them. Texas, they don't screw around in Texas. So it's a really good thing. Let's see. Oh, and the demonstrators were going to hold a protest at Chad Wolf's house in Washington, D.C. in response to federal agents being deployed across the country. Hey, East Tennessee Preparedness. Thanks for all you do, Prepper Nurse One. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the donation as well. The government has basically declared, and this is, and I love this here, they are violent anarchists, okay, rioting in the streets. But if you listen to the news media, and if you listen to the people that, are out there, they're just peaceful protesters. Well, you know what? Peaceful protesters don't attack people. They don't burn down buildings. They're not throwing bricks and bottles and, fireworks and using laser pointers at the police, trying to blind the police with a laser pointer. All right? Peaceful protesters do not do that, okay? They don't do that. So, again, you want to protest, knock yourself out. I don't agree with protesting. And I'm telling you what, like I said, even if it's something I agree with, I don't like protesters. First of all, I don't want to be in a large crowd like that anyway, to be honest with you, because so many things can go wrong. Way too many things can go wrong. And if you could be the most peaceful person in the world, but if you're caught up in a riot and you get arrested with that, guess what? You're getting charged with that same thing as everybody else. So, read the box on most masks, not effective against viral infections. Michael Howell just said that. And that's I 100% agree with you. Though paper masks, I want you to think about this. And I saw a meme today, and it really brought it home. And it was great. It was a great meme. And it was showing the different protective gear that people were using for their jobs. For people that are working with asbestos or people that are working with this, that, the other thing. And then it says, and this is what you need to use for the most deadly virus in mankind, a paper mask. Which, if you have like what I have on my face, I have the nice long goatee, right? I can't get well, first of all, you're not getting any kind of seal with a paper mask anyway. Even if I had a proper mask to protect myself, I would not be able to get a good seal on it with my goatee on. A gas mask, and I have gas masks here, right? I couldn't get a proper seal because of my goatee. So, that's, John just said, 10 eggs, 1 cat quake, 1 call from mom. That's very funny. But anyway, it's, with all that, it's just, I lost my train of thought for a moment, guys. I'm sorry. Oh, with the having a proper seal. I'm not shaving it. No, CMI, I'm not shaving it. I couldn't get a proper seal. Them paper masks are doing, realistically, if the virus is out there, they're not protecting you from the virus. It's a placebo. That's all it is. The only thing it's going to protect is, that's why you shave in the military. Yep. Well, Fang said, in the military, you cannot have facial hair. I mean, you can have a mustache, but you cannot have any kind of goatee or anything like that in the military. No. But unless you are on Antarctica for an extended 6-month stay, are you going to braid the goatee? Actually, what I do, Compton Moon, what I do, actually, it's funny that you say that. When I ride, this goes right up into my face. So what I do is I take rubber bands, and I'll put a rubber band like that, and then I'll add a couple more. I'll put like 3 rubber bands in this so that it doesn't blow around when I ride my motorcycle. So it's exactly what I do. So it's not braiding it, but I definitely I definitely rubber banded up. So yeah. But again, so these masks that they're telling everybody to wear, it's a placebo. Other than the fact that if you're sick yourself and you're coughing into the mask, okay, great, but it's still getting through the mask and going into the air because, oh yeah, let's not forget, it's airborne, okay? So you're helping a little bit if you are the one that's sick. If you're not sick, it's useless wearing a mask, to be honest with you. The masks that they want you to wear, they're useless. Or if you make your own out of cloth, useless. And I'm being 100% honest. You read it on the box, just like they said. Realistically, if you're trying to really protect yourself, you must go with a much higher mask and then realistically use it one time and then get rid of it. Who has the money to do that? So every time you go out, every time you leave your house, if you have to go out into the public, and then let's not forget eye protection. Okay, so I mean, it's very, very difficult. Okay, it's very, very difficult. And when you have somebody made a great comment earlier today. Okay, why don't you need to shave it complete? You don't need to shave it completely off. Trim it to make it a little smaller, and then you'll be able to seal it. Yeah, I don't want to though. I don't want to. I'm going to actually wait till I grow my beard back again this winter, which I do every year. So, and this is what I did last year is I trimmed this really down and then started growing my beard. And I'm going to have this whatever length it's going to be by the time October rolls around when I start growing my beard. And then I'm just going to grow my beard with it. So by next spring, this should be down quite a ways. But because I feel like growing it, I like it. And if other people don't like it, I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm being silly. I apologize. But so you can use an N95 mask again if you let them sit out for 3 days. The virus should be able to. Yes, you can do that. So so I stand corrected. But every time you use that N95 mask over and over and over again, it becomes less effective. So I'm sorry I didn't say that exactly the way I should have said it right in the beginning. And hold on a sec. I am like unbelievably sweating here. So my area of sweat where I love to sweat, have ever since I was a kid, is my forehead. When I was younger and I had hair, I used to slick it back because I would literally just be drenched in my forehead. And so, but at nursing homes in Massachusetts, staff must now wear mask and eye protection. Yep, Sunny 1433 just said that. And that doesn't surprise me. They've been doing that here for quite a while in New York. I'm surprised it took that long for that to happen up there. But yeah, it's, the nursing home is going to be your highest spot. Yeah, Heather has her own channel. Yep, Heather does have her own. She hasn't put anything up there in quite a while. So she actually should. I encourage her to do it all the time, but she's going to do what she's going to do. Hey, Southern Boy Prepper. Realized I have an elderberry tree. We harvested and made elderberry syrup today. Great medicinal values. Oops, hold on a second. You got me over 1,000 subs. Thank you. That's awesome, dude. I'm glad that you did. Are you at 4,000 watch hours yet, Southern Boy Prepper? Let me know if you're at 4,000 watch hours yet. Just put it in the comments and make sure you highlight it. And if I don't see it, somebody else tell me. But I'm glad. Thank you very much for the donation. I'm glad you're over 1,000 subscribers, which is great. Now, hopefully, if you have 4,000 watch hours, now you can monetize. So he says not yet. Okay. So we got it. That's the other thing with that. Make sure you're putting out those daily videos, Southern Boy Prepper, so that you can get the people to watch. And as soon as you get over that 4,000 watch hours, then you can monetize your channel and make a little something instead too. Okay. It is important. It does help. It's a thing. So I loved it when Heather and Hetty came on. They are so darn sweet. Dawn Pratt just said they're good kids. They're really good kids. And they're doing well. Yeah, I love them to death. I'll tell you what. When it comes to my kids, I always say that it has been my privilege and my honor to be their father. I've been so blessed, and I just, I can't say enough. They're my whole world. They are absolutely and completely my whole world. So, but, that's, something else that I want to bring up today. So we were talking, okay, so now as of Saturday, right? As of Saturday, two protections ran out. The protection of people being able to be foreclosed on or evicted for not paying their rent, that protection ran out on Saturday. Also, the $600 extra a week for people on unemployment, that also ended on Saturday. So I'm not sure if everybody was aware of that, but that absolutely did happen on Saturday. Unless they get something going here in the first couple days of this week and get an extension, those protections have expired. And if that's going to happen, you are going to see a lot of people homeless very, very soon. Very, very soon. Remember we talked about last month that, 13 million people did not pay their mortgage or their rent payment last month. And that this month coming up here, August, 23 million people said it was highly unlikely or doubtful that they were going to be able to pay their mortgage or their rent payment this month coming up. So I want you to think about that. And it doesn't affect 23 million people. It affects many more than that because, let's say the average household is 4 people. Okay, let's just say it's 4 people. That's almost 100 million people that could be affected that way. So, that's not anything to sneeze at. There's a lot of people being displaced. And I get landlords wanting to be paid and get the rent. I totally get it, but it's a very, very tough situation. Hey, Donna Smith. Hey, had protesters in Richmond, Virginia last night were led by Boogaloo boys. Crap is amping up. More damage. Oh, hold on a second. More damage and fires just expected to get worse. Well, and here, thank you very much for that information, and thank you so much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. Here's the thing that you need to think about too. Okay, and the news media is spinning it. I love it when they call them the Gestapo and the jackboots and all this type of thing. We're not talking about peaceful protesters. That's not who these, Department of Homeland Security and Border Patrol agents are going after. They're not going after somebody that's not causing any trouble. They're going after the people that are trying to cause harm, that are trying to cause trouble. What part does not? But again, we have an agenda and we have to make, everything look like, oh my God, we're in total chaos and everything is horrible. Well, they're putting a stop to it, and they should. And I applaud them for doing it. We can't have people acting like this in our country and thinking that they can get away with it because of weak leadership in those cities, be it the mayor. I'm curious if the mayor was out last night with the crowd when they were setting things on fire and looting and burning. I wonder if he was out then with there last night again. Or maybe he was too scared that he was going to get tear gassed again. Weak management, weak leadership will lead to anarchy. And that's what's happening right now. It's happening all over the country. And it's being done on purpose. It's being done with a reason. There is an agenda. The mayor should be held accountable. J.J. Biggs just said that. You're 100% right. Millions homeless, jobless, starving by election time. Michael Howell just said that. You know what? And I can't disagree with that. If they don't do something to help people, and again, you know what? Oh, goody, they're going to give us another $1,200 of our own money. Well, $1,200 ain't going to cut it. There needs to be other plans in place. I want to talk about this real quick, and hopefully this kind of drives it home for people. This year, 2020, we are in July right now. We're like 7 months into the year. 25 retail and restaurant chains have either filed for bankruptcy or liquidation in 2020. So 25 retail chains or restaurant chains have filed. I'm going to say it again because it's not just 25 businesses. It's 25 companies that have multiple businesses out there. They're shutting down and they're not, either they're doing Chapter 7, Chapter 11, or they're doing liquidation. So they're either going to be gone and gone for good. That's not a good thing. That is not a good thing at all. We are in a ton of trouble in this country. And another $1,200 that they want to give us, $1,200 goes a long way given that 70% of American population makes in wages. It really doesn't go a long way, though. It does not go a long way if you think about it. Yeah, okay, so Jay, follower of Jane, I'm not trying to be argumentative. Thank you for your statement, but let's break it down. Let's say you make $400 a week. You're bringing home $400 a week, okay? That's 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks. What happens after 3 weeks? So that's kind of what I'm basing my thought process on. So I hope you understand that. But that's 3 weeks. Now, if you make more than that, is it 2 weeks? If you made $600 a week? So again, that's my point. 40% of restaurants and 50% of small businesses have closed for good. Trishan Normad just said that. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. The number of businesses that are gone, that are not going to be here anymore. And so all these people that are temporarily laid off, okay, 1,200 in New York, definitely not. 1,200 in Alabama goes far. Vegas Stacker just said, oh, you're right. Yeah, New York is way, way expensive. We're very expensive. New York is very expensive. Especially if you get into the cities, it's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous how that won't go anywhere. But again, that's not a long-term solution to help people. Giving people 12, maybe in some places 1,200 can go a long way, and great. I mean, if they're going to give us more of our own money back, so they're not giving us their money, they're giving us our own money back. I want people to remember that too. Hey, Donna Smith, Mayor Stoney and Governor Northam were hunkered down with their armed security. All Confederate statues were removed. Oh, hold on a second. Removed at the demand of the protesters. So now what do they want? Exactly. And the funny thing about that, thank you for that statement. And thank you for the donation as well. I do appreciate it. And, I want to take that even a little bit further. There's these new demands that these groups are coming out with. These are our demands. They want everybody that's been arrested to be released. And it's just like ridiculous stuff, okay? It's not going to happen. You don't set rioters and protesters that are violent protesters. You don't set the terms of what's going to happen, And if the government needs to step in and teach these mayors and governors of these states that are allowing this nonsense to continue to go on, and New York State is one of them. We got the stuff going on in New York City as well. So I'm not like just pointing at other states. New York is just as bad, okay? But in Rochester, New York, they've had issues in Rochester. Now, I will say this. The mayor of Rochester, her name is Lovely Warren. And yes, she's a Democrat. She basically said, if you were out there destroying stuff, we're going to arrest you and you're going to be put in jail. Well, good for her. Finally, somebody standing up and saying, we're not going to tolerate this stuff. We need to have these police officers back. We have not had the police officers back, which is ridiculous as well. RC Kev, stimulus is garbage. 2/3 of the single middle class doesn't qualify, yet the airlines do. Total garbage. Oh, exactly. And when the airlines, and I'll take that even another step further, and thank you so much for the donation and thank you for the statement. I'll take that one step further. When the airlines get double what the schools got, those who are taking care of our kids, there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. Big time something wrong with that. The airlines got $25 billion in the first stimulus. The schools got $12.5 billion. How many airlines do we have in this country? Let's go out on a limb and say it's a whole bunch more than it. Let's say it's 100 airlines. $25 billion for them when there's not 100 airlines. Okay, so I'm just making that number up. So it just kind of gives it in perspective. How many schools we got out there? How many school districts do we have out there? You're talking thousands upon thousands upon thousands, okay? And they get $12.5 billion and the airlines get $25 billion? Does that make any sense to you? And these are the people that are going to be charged with protecting our children. I'll tell you what, thank goodness, and I've said it before, thank God my kids are not in the school age. They're not 5, 6 years old. They would not be going to school. They would not be. I would homeschool them. RC Kev, airlines screw us left and right. And yeah, and you know what? And so think about this. The airlines, besides whatever the ticket prices, whatever they decide they want to make them, you can have one bag that you put underneath, and you can have one carry-on bag. Other than that, they're going to charge you what? I think it's at $25 a bag. It's ridiculous. But Ed, the airlines only spent 96% of their profits for the last 10 years on stock buybacks. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane, and that's Saint Gangbang or Gang. I'm sorry, I thought it said Gangbang. Gang. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. My bad. Oh my God, it shows you where mine is, right? My mind. It's very twisted in there. It's very, very twisted. Oh my God. Well, the airlines didn't get money. It was a loan. They also had to give governments or give shares to the government. I don't know about maybe I don't know. It was they got 25 billion though. I know they got 25 billion. If it was a loan, that's fine. But you people obviously don't fly Southwest Airlines. Not up here. I know I don't. So. Happy Elf, do you have a girlfriend, Ed? At the moment, I do not. I do not have a girlfriend at the moment. Maybe that's part of my problem. Or maybe that's why I don't have a problem. I don't know. It could be one or the other. Oh, my goodness. So anyway, guys, we're at 1.1 in the chat. We have 724 of the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do that, please, to show support for the channel. And thank you very much for doing that again. And it really does. There's your cat quake. It really does help with the algorithms as well. So I appreciate you doing that. And because, like I said, it helps the channel. It really does. Also, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you also subscribe and hit that bell notification to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that as well. All right, let's do an egg count real quick. What do you guys think today the egg count was? So we'll look on here real quick. Give you guys a minute to get your guesses in here. Lots of guesses. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see what we got. All right, All right, so if your guess, like Courtney Willie's, with 10 eggs, you are 100% correct today. And I know, John, you said it early. You said 10 eggs, and I laughed because you were right on the money with that. So that was funny as well. So, but yes, 10 eggs today from the girls. They did a good job. And but it was really, I mean, we hit 88 here today in New York. And I know it doesn't, if you're in the South, you think 88, big deal. We have huge humidity up here, and I know some places in the South you do as well. But it gets really hot up here, and the humidity is just ridiculous. So it's been very, very warm, very warm. So, but yeah, they're nice. The chickens are steady. Like I said, generally between 9 and 13. That's what our normal thing is. And we actually haven't had, did we get 13? Yeah, we got 13 the other day. That's right. I was going to say it's been a while since we had 13, but what do I feed my chickens? My chickens get several things. They get regular feed that I give them regular feed. I also give them cracked corn